course of that 2.5 kilometer loop. We've seen a bunch of this course already in the first 2 days of competition. The women did this in the 7.5 kilometer sprint yesterday. Doubling up the shooting, shortening the ski loop. They'll do twice as many shots and only 2.5 kilometers more of skiing than yesterday, which puts the premium on the shooting, which is done head to head. It's a very different kind of event. It's perfect for an athlete who has strong mental skill and a iron will to defeat athletes next to him head to head. Nobody better at that at the moment than Martin Fourcade. 27 seconds is the gap that Fourcade will start. It'll feel like an eternity before Ole Einar Bjoerndalen takes the course. One of the largest margins of victory in a world championship or Olympic sprint in over 2 decades was Fourcade's win yesterday. Absolutely dominant. And the question is it a race for second place? Well, we know biathlon as we run through the start order. We know the answer to that. Biathlon is never over until it's over. Running through the nations, Austria has 4 competitors in the start order. Belarus qualified 2. Bulgaria 4, Canada 4, Czech Republic 4. Estonia has 2 in the mix. 1 from Finland, 4 from France, 4 from Germany, 3 Italians, 1 Kazakhstani, 1 Latvian, 1 Lithuanian, 4 Norwegians, 1 Romanian, 4 Russians, 2 Slovenians, 3 Swiss, 2 Slovakians, 2 Swedes, 4 Ukrainians, and 4 Americans make up the 60-man start order for today's World Championship competition. The defending champion is on the start, Eric Laser, but he starts a full 1 minute and 19 seconds behind. It's going to be hard indeed for Eric Laser to defend his pursuit title from last year in Kontiolahti. Athletes doing final preparations. There is Sergei Semenov, 27 years of age, from Chernihiv, Ukraine. The somewhat of a surprise bronze medalist. I would say not so much of a surprise as a bronze medalist if you look at his performance from the mixed relay 2 days prior to the sprint yesterday. Semenov was spectacular in his performance, putting his Ukrainian teammates, his final teammate, in the position for a medal. They ultimately wound up 4th, but Semenov clearly on form. He has said his goal is to shoot clean yesterday. He did that. Clean meaning perfect, 10 for 10. He said if he can do it again today, it may be another medal. I would agree with Sergei Semenov as he is hot right now for the Ukraine team. Johannes Tingnes-Bu, despite a miss, finished 4th yesterday, ran the second fastest course time to this man, Martin Fourcade. Fourcade started slow in the sprint competition. Was not even leading. Evgeny Garanichev was leading after the first shooting stage, and then from that point on, Fourcade did nothing but put time on the field. Ole Einar Bjoerndalen, the king of biathlon, 42 years of age, the silver medalist, and listen to the reaction of the crowd. They love Ole Einar Bjoerndalen in Norway. Johannes Tingnes-Bu wearing bib 4. Semenov will go 3rd. Bu going at 36 seconds behind. He'll have 8 seconds between himself and Semenov. The French doing very well at these World Championships. 2 golds so far. All of that, not all of it, but much of it, due to Martin Fourcade. 5 seconds to start now. Each competitor will chase the winner from yesterday. Martin Fourcade on course. Each competitor responsible for leaving at the right second on the departure clock. If they go too early, they could receive a 30-second penalty, or worse, if it's egregious, could be disqualified. Still 5 seconds for Bjoerndalen to take the start. 27 seconds the gap. Bjoerndalen is out. Semenov right behind him. And then Johannes Bu will be next at 36 seconds. Top 3 competitors are on the course. Bu skiing very fast indeed. Watch for him to move up if he can keep his shooting clean. Pfeiffer and Schemp for Germany on course, as well as Geranichev and Vindish of Italy. Then it's Landertinger, Iliev of Bulgaria, Serafin Wiesner, who is finding his best form of his career in the last few weeks, followed by Simon Destieu, then Vladimir Shepelin, and then the United States, Tim Burke, first North American on course in 14th spot. Miguel Schlesinger behind him. Quentin Fillon-Maillet, who won a gold in the mixed relay on course, as well as Emil Hegle Svendsen and Leif Nordgren from the United States with an 18th place finish. That is the top performance for Nordgren in his career. Back out on course now. You see the gap. Nobody challenging Martin Fourcade. Nobody even in the picture yet. So a bit of a promenade first lap for Martin Fourcade. He's got all the time he needs. He's going to need to think about it. The competitors behind him are going to wish nothing but evasive thoughts on Martin Fourcade's head, as his gap is huge. For most competitors, that will take the pressure off. But biathlon is a funny thing. You can be on a good form, you can have, everything can seem right, and then all of a sudden, a little bit of doubt creeps in, a little bit of a wrong trigger finger. One miss can lead to thoughts of another miss, and things can quickly unravel. I remember Rico Gross once, a great German, leading by nearly 2 minutes in a pursuit in the final shooting stage, and missing 4 and finishing, I believe it was 8th. So he can have a 2-minute lead with the final shooting stage and still not have this competition wrapped up. That's a good lesson for everybody in biathlon. Fourcade's time gap was 27 seconds, and it's going to be a bit more than that already at the 0.9 kilometer time check. 33 seconds, so Fourcade making time. He doesn't need to ski fast. He's just doing it. Still largely the same start order that we saw at the beginning. The shooting will start to change that. Iliev still holding in 10th. Iliev started 52 seconds back. He's keeping even with Martin Fourcade. The 20 shots on the shooting range is really the deciding factor of these pursuit events. Destieu, Fillon-Maillet, Schlesinger, Burke, Shepelin, Svendsen, all skiing together in a group early in this pursuit. It's a sea of humanity past the top 10, as the competitors are very tightly compacted. No early starts. That's the sign from the jury, that graphic, that there will be no disqualifications or penalties given to anybody. All the competitors did a good job and started on their specific second. Ole Einar Bjoerndalen has been caught by Semenov and Johannes Tingnesbø. Last time check was 32.6 seconds back. Now Semenov is 35.3. So the chasers not making any ground, in fact losing ground to Martin Fourcade in the early going at the 1.8 kilometer mark. Inside a kilometer to the first shooting stage, and Johannes Tingnesbø puts on a burst of speed. He's not messing around. He realizes that he's losing time to Martin Fourcade and he's not going to have anything of it. And sometimes that's what it takes. It takes a fit of inspiration to do something special. Johannes Tingnesbø seems to want to do that today instead of playing it safe for the medals. First shooting stage of this men's world championship pursuit event. Martin Fourcade will come in. The athletes will load in the order that they come into the shooting range. Little bit of wind, most of it coming right at the athlete though. If you look at the wind flags, it's facing right at them. You need a side wind to adjust the sights. Fourcade decides no adjustments. I'm moving forward. Hit at 12 o'clock. Another hit right at center high. Center high, perfect shooting. Nothing even close to a miss. As if he had no heart rate at all. Martin Fourcade puts down 5 for 5. There was nothing even close to the edge of the prone ring. Johannes Tingnes Boo now trying to make some time on Martin Fourcade. It's going to take fast and clean shooting. Bjoerndalen shoots first. Semenov has yet to shoot. Bjoerndalen has a miss. Bo is 3 for 3. Semenov has a miss. Bo is 5 for 5. Bjoerndalen goes to the penalty loop along with Semenov for one trip around. Evgeny Goronichev misses his 5th and final shot. Dominic Vindish is 5 for 5. He'll move up, as will Pfeiffer with clean shooting. Schemp with a miss, Landertinger with a miss. So Fourcade leading by 30.5 seconds over Johannes Tingnes Boo. Boo started 36 seconds back. He's making time on Fourcade. Vindish into 3rd, Pfeiffer into 4th, all the top 4 within 40 seconds. Wiesner clean for Switzerland, Desteo clean for France. Time ticking away. Bjoerndalen comes out of the penalty loop in 5th. Semenov into 6th, also out of the penalty loop. Tim Burke and Eric Laser and Quentin Fillon-Maillet all clean off the shooting range as Wiesner in 8th, Schemp 9th, Landertinger in 10th. Now over a minute back is 10th place. On the shooting range, Kritzmer and Bailey clean. So Martin Fourcade remains in the lead by 30.5 seconds, but he is losing time to the 2nd place man, Johannes Tingnes Boo, started 4th. Dominic Vindish up from 5th into 3rd after the first shooting stage. Martin Fourcade. Can anybody beat this man? It's a lonesome job at the front, but it's a good feeling to have a 30-second gap. Now, let's just put this in perspective. 30 seconds is more than a missed shot. Each penalty loop, about 22 seconds. You shoot a little faster, you might grab a second here, a second there. Johannes Tingnes Boo, shooting very fast and clean, finding the seconds to try to move his way into position to beat this man, Martin Fourcade. One miss from Fourcade, and most of that 30 seconds is gone. Further, there's enough time for Johannes Tingnes Boo to hear whether or not Martin Fourcade has a miss, knowing if the door is open. So Johannes Tingnes Boo not entirely at a disadvantage if Fourcade in fact has a miss. But for every miss that Fourcade has, you have to hit one more to even the score. Last time check, 30.5 seconds to Johannes Tingnes Boo. Boo definitely forcing the pace early in lap 1. We'll see if that has cost him anything on the ski speed at this point. Boo started the day 36 seconds behind, and he's going to have lost time since the shooting range, 2.5 seconds, or 2 seconds to be exact, since the last stage, but he's still a net gain of 4 seconds on the day. Dominic Vindish, 41 seconds back. He started just 1 second faster than that behind. And Arnd Pfeiffer, who started 7th, 42 seconds back. He's trailing by exactly the same amount. So right now, the top 4 competitors all remaining nearly even from the start order. Bjoerndalen with that miss, running in 5th. Goronichev in 6th. Also with a penalty. Semenov with 1, Schemp with 1, Landertinger with 1, Wiesner clean, Desteo clean, but they're moving up from further down in the start order. Laser clean. Remember, the defending world champion Eric Laser started 19th. He's moved his way into 12th position on the second lap. Martin Fourcade looking powerful. Fast tempo, almost hop skating his V2 steps on this uphill. Look at the dynamic skiing style of Martin Fourcade. One might even also almost call it wasteful. It's so dynamic. It's almost like He's putting on a show, letting the world know what kind of energy he has right now. And it's a lot, because to jump step on your skates in a V2 style, well, it's almost a little bit silly, almost a little bit wasteful from a coaching perspective. Much more smooth is Johannes Tingnes Boo, preserving his energy, but he continues to lose time to the greatest biathlete in the world at the moment. He's lost another 2 seconds and he's down to 34 seconds back. Vindish losing time as well as Pfeiffer. Back down into the Holmenkollen Stadium comes Martin Fourcade, holding a 35-second lead over Johannes Tingnes Boo. Trying to make it a hat trick, a 3-for-3 gold medal start to these 2016 Biathlon World Championships. Fourcade in for the second shooting. The Norwegian crowd showing much respect to Martin Fourcade despite their clear desire for their countrymen to catch him. As you hear the crowd erupt as Johannes Tingnes Boo enters the stadium. Fourcade, watch the shooting. He's right down the middle, all 5 shots first shooting stage. Right in the center again. Center hit. Center hit, dead center. Another center hit. Prone shooting is done. Martin Fourcade could have put on a Olympic shooting accuracy clinic with those shots. They were right down the middle. Center X hits, all of them. Not even close to a miss so far. Now the task is to hang on to the middle. Boo starts with a hit. Boo with his first miss. Fourcade will get away. 2 misses for Boo. Two trips around to 150-meter penalty loop for Johannes Tingnes Boo, and that means Martin Fourcade will slither away from the pack even further. Pfeiffer now the only man with perfect shooting. Vindish starts with 2 misses. Pfeiffer's 4 for 4. Pfeiffer, can he go 5 for 5? And he does. It's not for the win, but to comfortably hold on to second. He's going to have a challenge from Yevgeny Garanichev and Sergei Semenov, who are both clean from the second shooting stage. Simon Schemp with 2 penalties. Wiesner goes clean again. Bjoerndalen clean. Londertinger with a miss. Laser is clean again. So Eric Laser, the pursuit world champion from last year, moving up from 19th spot, and he should be near the top 5 now. No, he won't be 5th. Bjoerndalen is 5th. Wiesner goes into 6th. With Pfeiffer and Garanichev in the podium spots. Semenov, Bjoerndalen, Wiesner chasing for a medal, as is Laser, but he's a minute 11 back total. Svendsen in 8th. Tim Burke has moved up into 9th with clean shooting. For the United States, Shepelin in 10th for Belarus. The prone shooting is complete. Martin Fourcade continues to lead by a commanding amount of 50.1 seconds. It's perfect shooting and the fastest ski on the field. That makes Martin Fourcade nearly untouchable so far in this pursuit, so far at these World Championships. Cannot find the superlatives to describe what Martin Fourcade is doing to this men's field today. Look at the skiing. Not a sign of weakness. Nice snappy tempo. And now the pressure is completely off. Almost a smile on the face of Fourcade, nearing the halfway point of this 12.5 kilometer pursuit. Into the time check at 5.9 kilometers. He led by 50.1 seconds. We have to wait nearly a minute for the silver medal position to come through. Fourcade does not need to push the envelope. He does not need to force the issue. Getting information from his coaches, and it looks like he's smiling. And the question is Fourcade as good as Bjoerndalen was at the top of his game? That was the question posed to Ole Einar Bjoerndalen at the end of the sprint competition yesterday. And Bjoerndalen said they were different times. He thinks it's much more competitive right now. He said the best athletes of his time, when he was in his heyday, there were a bunch of good athletes, but there's far fewer athletes who could actually win on a given day. 50.1 seconds was the time check. I don't expect Arnd Pfeiffer to take time out of Martin Fourcade, and he is not doing so. But only losing 2 seconds. Pfeiffer in the silver medal position. It's his to hang on to. Everybody racing for the silver and the bronze at the moment. They're going to need misses from ahead in Martin Fourcade, and they're going to need multiple to have a shot at the gold. Bjoerndalen in 5th, Semenov right behind it, right ahead of him in 4th. Wiesner sitting in 6th, Laser 7th, Svendsen 8th, Berg 9th, Schepelin 10th. Johannes Tingnes Boo had 2 penalties from the second prone shooting. He sits in 11th now, a full minute and 20 seconds back. Destilleux of France, who started 12th, currently holding that position. And the 9th starter, Landertinger, has dropped to 13th. Landertinger with 2 misses on the day, 1 from each of the first 2 prone positions. 27 years of age, 47 wins total in his career, 7 world championship titles, trying to make it 8. Nine victories in this season alone for Martin Fourcade, looking to make it 10. He's the only athlete to win 3 World Cup overall globes in a row. He's well on to extending that record to 4 in a row. And one would have to think this has been his best season yet. And he's only 27. Third shooting stage, now from the standing position, the less stable of the 2 positions. Target is bigger, about the size of a DVD. What you see is what you get on this target. They were aiming at a prone target about the same size, but had to hit the center ring. Little bit of wind, nothing side to side though, wind coming right at the athletes. Fairly straightforward conditions. The only competitor that Martin Fourcade has at the moment is himself. Starts with a miss. First miss on the day. A chink in the armor. Rethinking it. Taking his time now. Just has to act like training. So, a small window of opportunity for the rest of the field, but at 50 seconds back, 53 seconds back, Arnd Pfeiffer still not in the shooting range as Martin Fourcade goes to the penalty loop. What the athletes need behind Fourcade is multiple misses in a single shooting stage, and they didn't get that. They got a small mistake with Fourcade's miss at 2 o'clock on his first shot of the 3rd shooting stage. Pfeiffer now in position to claim the silver. Martin Fourcade goes through the time check at 19 minutes and 21.3 seconds. Pfeiffer, perfect on the shooting range so far today from the prone position. And he starts with a miss. Bjoerndalen hits. Bjoerndalen 2 for 2. Pfeiffer will have to go around the penalty loop. Has to try to stay clean. Bjorndalen's 4 for 4. Bjoerndalen is 5 for 5, trying to make it 2 days in a row the silver medal as Geranichev misses. Bjoerndalen will be all by himself in 2nd place as Pfeiffer and Semenov go to the penalty loop. Eric Laser shoots perfectly for Germany, moving up from 19th position with the possibility of moving on to the podium. Svendsen is clean, Johannes Boo is clean, Burke with a miss, Schepelin and Wiesner all with a single miss. Bronze medal position open, and it's Eric Laser of Germany into the 3rd spot, Svendsen 4th. Laser will have company on the course, which is good news for him to not lose time, but bad news as he gets challenged for the bronze medal. Johannes Boo into 5th now. Pfeiffer into 6th after 1 penalty, as is Semenov in 7th, Geranichev in 8th. Londertinger 9th. There's your top 10. Londertinger 9th, Anton Shapulin moving up from 45th into 10th, showing the hugest movement of the day, but there is the first miss right at 1:30 on the clock. The rest of it, quite solid. No real close misses. Took his time, realized that he didn't want to. Look at that, that was a prone hit right there after that miss. So good on the skis, so good on the shooting range. As we go to lap 4, Martin Fourcade, despite a miss, leading by 38.3 seconds now over the king of biathlon, Ole Einar Bjoerndalen, each of them with a single penalty. That puts course time. Fourcade has gained 11 seconds on this from the start on Bjoerndalen with an equal shooting performance. Eric Laser has moved up from 19th and a start time of 1:20 back to be 52 seconds back and in the bronze medal position. He has company with Emil Hegle Svendsen and Johannes Boo. Time check at 8.4 kilometers, 22 flat, 0.9. Martin Fourcade stops the clock there. At that intermediate point, Ole Einar Bjoerndalen was 38.3 seconds back. Here is Bjoerndalen, 42 years of age, 95 victories to his name over his career. A true innovator of the sport, works with the Matsu Ski Company, a ski sponsor, to develop the skis and boots that he races on, that the world races and skis on. Innovative, always pushing the envelope technologically, technically, physically. Famous for his RV with a roller ski treadmill in it so he can travel and train. Svendsen now into third position ahead of Eric Laser. No real surprise there. Laser just wants to hang on to this group of two Norwegians, Svendsen and Boo. And wouldn't the Norwegians love 2 podiums today for their home team? Laser in 4th, Johannes Boo chasing in 5th, a minute 2 back total, but he's only 2 seconds off the podium. Semenov, 6th, Ronichev 7th. Here comes Pfeiffer with that one miss. Tim Burke sitting in 11th, right behind Anton Shapulin, who came up from 45th start order into the top 10 now. The kind of day he was looking for in the sprint, but that eluded him. Anton Shapulin clearly showing good form, as likely one of the fastest, if not the fastest, course time so far on the day. One shooting stage remaining. Then a final 2.5 kilometers of skiing after that to decide the medals. Martin Fourcade, supreme. As he approaches the stadium, holding a 43-second advantage over 2 Norwegians, Ole Einar Bjoerndalen, and then a minute advantage over Emil Svendsen, Eric Laser, and Johannes Tingus Boo. All Fourcade has to do now, get in a tuck, glide in. Anything less than 2 misses, and the gold is his. The 3rd of these championships, the 3rd straight. And what will today probably become his best season ever with another gold. He's got to hit at least 3. Final shooting stage for the gold medal. No pressure. A day at the office. Starts with a miss again. Cannot afford another one. Two misses. It might be enough. He instantly looks back, as it'll take nearly 45 seconds for him as Bjoerndalen enters the shooting range. Clean shooting but it has to be fast. So Fourcade shows that he is human, but is it enough of a mistake for Bjoerndalen to get inside and catch him before he heads out of the penalty loop? It's going to take perfect shooting, and it's going to take it fast. 2 for 2, 3 for 3. Oh, and a miss. Into the penalty loop he goes. It may be enough for silver. Svendsen now trying to get in to the mix for the medals. Martin Fourcade, it would have been a race if Bjoerndalen had shot clean, but Fourcade leaves the penalty loop and trips the time check. Eric Lesser, 2 penalties on the final stage. Svendsen misses his final shot. Boo misses a shot. So it's going to be Svendsen and Boo and Bjoerndalen for the final medals, as Garanichev misses 2, Semenov misses 1, Pfeiffer has a miss, Pfeiffer misses 2. A complete meltdown for the medals. Bjoerndalen comes through in silver medal position at 23.2 seconds back. He will not catch Martin Fourcade, but he's got a cushion for the silver. Burke with a miss, Landertinger with 2, Shipulin misses his final shot on the day. Desteu is 3 for 3. Burke misses 2 on the final stage. Fock is clean for Slovenia. Schlesinger clean for the Czech Republic. Svendsen coming through in 4th. He's 1 second out of the bronze medal position. A slugfest between 3 Norwegians for 2 medals and the remainder of the podium on the final lap. Martin Fourcade is clear for the gold by 23 seconds over Ole Einar Bjoerndalen. Then it's Johannes Boo and Emil Hegle Svendsen fighting it out for the bronze. Martin Fourcade making it interesting. 3 misses on the day, 2 of them in the final shooting stage, and he almost looked perplexed. Like, what happened there? And that is biathlon. He's lucky he had that kind of cushion, because it's most of his lead has dried up, as Bjoerndalen now at 23.2 seconds back. And you can now see Bjoerndalen down the track as he makes that chicane turn, that over 180-degree turn over the bridge. Bjoerndalen looks down between his legs to see if he's got any company, and he's going to be relieved to see that he doesn't, but also likely relieved to see that it's 2 Norwegians, his teammates, Svendsen and Boo. So the gold all but gift wrap, the silver as well. But the bronze medal race is still in contention between this man here, Johannes Tingnes Boo, and the veteran Emil Hegle Svendsen. Svendsen started way back in 17th spot, a minute and 16 back, now trails by just 42 seconds, meaning he's actually doing better on the day than Martin Fourcade, albeit Fourcade has not had to ski at his maximum in this last loop. Svendsen, 1 penalty on the day, put him in contention. Jako Fock, who started 39th for Slovenia, sits in 5th. Time check, 29:05.3. Getting information from his coaches of how much his gap is over Bjoerndalen. And the simple task of beating Martin Fourcade continues to be not so simple. A puzzle for the rest of the field. At 42 years of age, Ole Einar Bjoerndalen will add to his medal collection. Won his 23rd medal yesterday in World Championship competition. He will win his 24th if he can stay on his feet. Johannes Tingnes Boo trying to have an inter-squad rivalry between he and his teammate Emil Hegle Svendsen. Boo, the younger at 22 years of age and faster skier at the moment. Svendsen, age 30, was the fastest skier 5-6 years ago in the field, but no longer the case. Jako Fock now in trouble of losing that 5th place position as Semenov, Desteu, Schlesinger, and Lesser all join him on the course to round out the top 10 places. Martin Fourcade, 27 years of age, the undisputed best biathlete in the world from La Lagone, France. Makes his occupation as a soldier in the French army and as the world's best biathlete. Now on the final climb before the stadium, the Norwegian fans being very fair to Martin Fourcade, but they're going to be even more excited as Ole Einar Bjoerndalen, in the twilight of his career, at his final World Championships on home snow, will get another silver medal today, barring any major mishap from here to the finish. 11.8 kilometers into this 12.5 kilometer course, Bjoerndalen has 800 meters to make it 2 silvers in a row, behind this man who will win 2 golds in a row. And how fitting is it that the torch being passed from Ole Einar Bjoerndalen, the king of biathlon, to Martin Fourcade, the new prince and heir apparent to the legacy of Ole Einar Bjoerndalen. 47 wins, en route to win his 48th career victory. And certainly the 95 of Bjoerndalen is within striking distance if Fourcade is still doing biathlon at the age of 37 in 10 years' time. Bjoerndalen's so amazing, his longevity, his desire still at 42 years of age, having done everything there is to do in the sport, to be competitive at this level. The fire is still clearly in Bjoerndalen. Now the race for the bronze medal, as Martin Fourcade has the time to grab his French flag and do his nation proud. 3 for 3. Martin Fourcade, unbeatable in the sport of biathlon in front of the excited crowd of Holmenkollen. They know what this means. They understand the difficulty to be this good. And he's done it again. 3 golds in 3 races for Martin Fourcade, and the hometown favorite, Ole Einar Bjoerndalen, can savor the moment, look back, and take the silver medal in the men's pursuit. And now the sprint for bronze, and it will be Johannes Tingnes Bø with a gap now. Oh, Emil Hegle Svendsen puts a gap on Johannes Bø. That was unexpected, as Svendsen takes the bronze with a final late charge with an exhausted Bø 4th. Jakob Falk 5th from 39th. Simon Desteyou 6th. Eric Laser moves up from 19th to 7th. Semenov, who started in the bronze medal position, in 8th with 3 penalties on the day. Quentin Fillon-Maillet with a photo finish with Chapulin for 9th. Goronichev in 11th. Schlesinger 12th. Not happy. This very biathlon literate crowd realizes they are witnessing some major history with 3 straight golds from Martin Fourcade. Arne Pfeiffer comes into 13th. Landertinger 14th. Nathan Smith moves up from 46th to 15th. Simon Ader into 16th. Tim Burke 17th, with figured into it early in the top 10, but 2 misses on the final stage dropped him down to 17th. Schemp drops to 18th. Savitsky 19th for Kazakhstan, gets Kazakhstan in the top 20. Serafin Wiesner, who threatened early, dropped to 20th as standing shooting became his nemesis. Bobikov 21st for Russia. Kritzmer 22nd, Shepelin 23rd, Iliev 24th, Eberhard 26th, Journey 25th, Eberhard 26th, Rostroguyev 27th, dropping from 20th. 60 starters on the day. We'll move to the flower ceremony for the victors. It's 2 medals for Norway. The diversity not changing on the medal count, as France and Norway take the medals today in the men's pursuit. Only Ukraine and Germany are the other nations with medals so far in these championships. Simon Destillo giving congratulations to his teammate Martin Fourcade on his 3rd gold medal. Absolute superiority. Despite 3 misses, Martin Fourcade hangs on comfortably to win over Ole Einar Bjoerndalen, celebrating much of the last kilometer. Wins by 20 seconds. And I have to say, I think Johannes Tingnesbø went for the win early in the competition, tried to close down the gap on Martin Fourcade, did not do it, missed 2 in the second shooting stage, and that dashed his hopes. He found himself in position for a medal in the end, but just didn't have enough left to challenge the hard-charging Emil Hegle Svendsen, who came from 17th position to claim the bronze medal. And I don't think anybody saw that coming. When you're 17th on the start and 1 minute and 16 seconds back, you're hoping perhaps for a medal, but as anybody would be. But Emil Hegle Svendsen with a strong last uphill. And Emil Hegle Svendsen has been beaten so many times in the final 100 meters of a race that he needed to go early, and he did just that. He broke the will of his teammate Johannes Tingnesbø, his much younger teammate, 8 years his younger, to psych him out and take the bronze medal. And that will change the demeanor of Emil Hegle Svendsen, who has not had the greatest of seasons by his own standards. So it's France and then 3 Norwegians at the finish. Jakob Falk with perfect shooting, as did Simon Destillo, who started 12th and moved into 6th. But Jakob Falk clearly skiing fast as well, as he started in 39th position, a full minute and 48 seconds back. He erased a minute and 7 seconds